Anyway, what are we talking about? Dan,
Well,
I don't want to beat on Dan Barkan forever.
Yeah. Well, our good friend Ozzy Ace, he's always...
You're mentioning Ozzy?
Yes,
What?
I'm mentioning Ozzy.
What? Let me say that again. Ozzy Ace, you said?
I did.
As in the Ace of Ozzy from Australia?
Yes.
Who's never mentioned on the show? All right, I just want to make sure.
He wanted to know if I ever gave you your bag of dicks.
No.
And I said, well, I've showed him on the webcam, but I haven't seen Chris to give them to him. So when I see him in August, I will give him a bag of dicks.
Thank you.
I'll say, hey, Chris, here's a bag of dicks.
All right. I will eat them on the air. Talk about some video exclusive first there. You'll only see that on the fucking subscription service. Me eating a bag of dicks.
Here, eat a bag of dicks.
I will absolutely eat my bag of dicks on the subscription service.
Yeah. So anyway, he's always got this fascination with since you mentioned the Trunkster.
Mm-hmm.
He said the Shriller really shrills a lot this week.
Yeah.
And he said the Shriller gives us his version and so much more. Shrieking and shrilling and nonsense of knowledge of the metal industry once again. Mm-hmm. If you only listen to one Shrill episode today, this is a beauty.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What's it about?
It's about Kiss, of course.
Oh, of course.
He's shrilling about Kiss, apparently.
You know what he will not let go of, too? And we'll get to this, obviously, but he will not let go, and this, I guess, involves Kiss, but he will not let go of the fucking backing track thing. My God, whatchamacallit? Buck Cherry guy put out had something in an interview with talking about that he doesn't like backing tracks or it takes away from concerts or whatever. Just another same story that everybody's doing.
Josh Todd.
Yeah, Josh Todd.
Then I saw Sebastian Bach piping up about that too.
Everybody's piping in. Well, of course, Eddie retweets the link. It goes, see, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Well, I saw Sebastian did a whole interview this week about the whole backing track thing.
Right.
And he said, he goes, I know that Kiss does it. He says, Kiss is my favorite band, and I went to see them on this latest run of their tour, and regardless of the backing tracks, I still had the time of my life, and I still really enjoyed the show. But, I'm going to go out and do the 30th anniversary of Skid Row, and I'm not going to use backing tracks, and, I'm going to do the best I can, and maybe somewhere down the road, if I can't, hit the notes anymore, I might have to resort to it too.
Yeah, but Sebastian sounds kind of like he used to. He doesn't sound, he still sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, look, basically, this whole backing track thing is like, all right, just admit that you're doing that. I think that's the biggest problem. It's not that bands are doing it. It's that they're not admitting to doing it.
And I agree. And I think that's what Sebastian was saying in his interview is that if you're buying a ticket to the show,
right,
at least be honest with your fans that it's not all live.
Did you happen to see the Wasp lip syncing fiasco?
I did not see that.
Oh my God. It's on Metal Sludge. Dude, it's not even close. Blackie, at one point, he's 6-8 feet from the microphone and the voice comes in. He just walks up to it while it's singing and then pretends like he's singing. It's really embarrassing.
Wow.
I mean, dude, I don't think I've ever, of all the lip sync stuff that we've seen before, this might be the most embarrassing of them. I don't know how it would play on the show if you wanted to look it up.
Yeah, I think you'd have to see it to appreciate it.
You'd have to see it, but I'm telling you, there's a part, and it's like an instrumental part, and then it comes back in with Blackie singing, and I guess he forgot, and he's still standing by the drum riser when the vocal comes back, and then he kind of hustles his ass up to the microphone and then pretends like he's singing again.
Yeah, does he look horrific?
Oh, yeah, he's not looking very good. He's definitely not looking super healthy.
All right. Well,
sad.
Let's see what the Trunkster is up to, and let's hear the shrieking and the shrilling.
All right.
He discusses, of course, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, and who is really running KISS.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was answered already. I thought Paul Stanley was sort of like running the show.
Yeah. Here's a better answer. Who gives a shit?
Well, apparently to KISS fans, it means something.
It's a band that's on their way out. Who cares at this point?
Yep. Well, here we go.
Dave in Philly writes, Eddie, I'm sure you've told this story before, but I want to know what caused the friction between you, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons.
Oh, my
the
God.
KISS stuff is endless with me in this show.
Yeah, that's because you perpetuate it. That's why, Eddie.
Yeah, how about this? The answer, Ed, I'm not trying to tell you how to do radio. You are obviously the king here, Ed. But the answer is, I've answered it numerous times. Moving on.
Yeah.
Next caller. He doesn't have to revisit it. Next caller. How about this? It's an email, for fuck's sake. Don't read it.
Yeah.
He knew that. He wanted to talk about it.
Of course he does.
Jesus. All right.
It really is. Does it go all the way back to you signing Ace as a solo artist in the early 80s, or is it more recent with your comments about Spaceman and Catman stand-ins and lip-syncing? I can't imagine being in your position now with the access to artists that you have and being in a nasty feud with the band that you worshipped since you were 18. It's a real shame. Dave in Philly. Dave, thank you for your note. How can I even begin?
What was that?
That's that whole arduous task. I got to take this on. This is very painful for me to have to talk about this.
Was that him welling up?
Yeah, he's like hemming and hawing at the mic just to. Well, this exactly the Rev.
Dave, thanks for your note. This is a painful one for me, Dave, but I'm going to try and explain it to you the best I can. I just hope that you understand the physical pain this is putting me through, Dave.
The gravity of this. The gravity is it's like the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Dave, this is a painful one for me to say, but because you're such a good fan, I'm going to do it one more time for you. But just know, Dave, that it really hurts. What an ass. Jesus Christ.
Talk about the theater of the mind here.
Oh my God, what is with the heavy breathing?
Well, here we go.
We're 18. It's a real shame. Dave in Philly. Dave, thank you for your note. How can I even...
It's that pain coming up from the bottom of his lower intestine all the way up.
I think I shat my shorts.
Dave. God. Come on, Ed. It's a fucking band. You know 1,000 of them.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Begin to tear this apart for you in a nutshell without taking on too much of the show and being completely honest. First of all, it has nothing to do with me signing Ace back in the 80s. I think it does have something to do with the fact that erroneously I am viewed by them as being the original lineup only, Ace and Peter guy only, which couldn't be further from the truth, given that I supported and loved all the lineups and eras of KISS without makeup throughout the 80s into the 90s and on and on and on. And really, you say friction between Paul and Gene. There is no friction with Gene. Gene has told me that. I know that for a fact. Gene is not able to do interviews with me because Paul will not allow it, and Paul runs KISS.
Period.
God damn it. First of all, I don't believe that for a minute. Do you really? I mean, I do believe that Paul runs Kiss, but let's be real. Do you think that Gene, Mr. I'll do anything to make money, do you think he really didn't do an interview with Eddie for the Vault because Paul told him not to?
No, I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't believe that for 1 second either. No way. He was talking to anybody and everybody.
Hell, he even let Vinnie Vincent up on his stage.
What I'm saying. Paul wouldn't do that. Sure, Paul didn't endorse that move. Good Lord. All
Maybe
right.
one of the biggest misconceptions out there is that Gene Simmons runs Kiss. He does not. Paul Stanley makes the decisions and runs Kiss. Eric Singer even said that not long ago in a recent interview. Gene, I know for a fact, would talk to me and debate all of my positions if it wasn't going to piss off his partner. So the issue is not with Gene. The issue is with Paul. What is the issue? The last time I ever spoke to the man, I said to him, let's sit down and talk about this like adults. And he walked out a back door, and that was it. It was at one of his art gallery shows, and it was a number of years ago. And you're right, it is a bizarre irony that a band that was so important to me and that I loved so much, and by the way, Paul Stanley was always my favorite member, is the one band that won't deal with me or talk to me because of opinions that I have.
Because you're so dangerous.
Yeah, scary.
He's dangerous.
Eddie Trunk could end the Kiss empire. That interview with Eddie could end everything.
Right.
Better look out.
Yeah.
And this has gone on for a long time, and I never quite knew where the triggers were and what caused it and what it was about. I do have a pretty good idea now, but over time and over history, there had been these flare-ups and things that had happened and then things that got smoothed over. And then the next thing you know, he had heard something that wasn't even true, and then that was a flare-up. I mean, there's one story I'll never forget where he was at my terrestrial radio station in New York City where I do a music show, and he recorded a really nice liner for me. You know, one of those things like, hi, this is Paul Stanley, and you're listening to. And in it, he called me his loyal friend and fan. And this was after just a few months ago him having a problem with me.
Well, that obviously means something, because people don't ever cut IDs that are bullshit. You don't have half a dozen IDs in your catalog that say my good friend Neely from guys that you met one time and never saw again.
Pretty much.
You know, what was the name of that band? Mockingbird or Hummingbird?
Oh,
or something?
yeah.
Whatever that band was, they all said they loved you. Have you heard from them since?
No, they had like 2 records, and then, of course, they were gone.
Yeah, but yet their ID is like, you're listening to my good friend Neely.
Right.
Yeah, meanwhile, Killing Bird. Yeah, and where'd they go? You haven't heard from them since.
Nope.
Your good friend. Shut up. That's what people say in IDs. Come on. Try again, Ed. It's like he knows his audience is stupid, so he says stupid things.
Right.
Because they won't call him on it.
Of course.
I mean, come on. Everybody's heard. Look, if you've heard, let's just pick an artist. Whoever your favorite artist is, Dokken.
Mm-hmm.
Dokken's a show staple here. Don will say, "You're listening to my good friend Neely and Chris on the and admittedly, we're friends with them."
Yeah.
But you know what? He also says it on the other 50 fucking interviews that he does a year.
Sure.
Says the exact same thing. You're listening to my good friends, Red and Jerry. You're listening to my good friends over at Talk To Me. Meanwhile, he's never heard Talk To Me, and he'll never talk to Josh Toomey again. I mean, that's just the reality of it. That's what IDs are. They're just fucking...
It's just some way to show some credibility for the host that interviewed you or whatever.
It's just a subtle way to tie the music to the local so that it feels in your local town like it's your band.
Right.
That's all it is. It's, oh, that's fucking Dokken they're playing. Those guys love it here in Duluth, or whatever. That's all they're doing. The good friends. If that's the case, then everybody we've ever met is good friends with us.
Of course.
Our good friend Joel from Airborne. Doesn't he do a good friends one?
Yeah, I think he does.
He's a good friends one, too. Hey, you're listening to my good friend Neely on the Classic Metal Show. It's me, Joel from Airborne. Fuck out of here. When's the last time you heard from Joel from Airborne? Second record?
Yeah, never met the guy.
Yeah, never met him once. Haven't even talked to him in fucking 4 albums. Get the fuck out of here with this nonsense.
All right.
And then I heard that, which I did not ask for that, and I went to his art show and went to say hi to him, and he gave me attitude again. So I don't know what the guy hears and what the issue of the week is sometimes. I really don't. I do know this. By his own admission, he is an incredibly sensitive guy. If you read his book, he's been in therapy for it for many, many, many years, among other things, by his own admission. So when you're dealing with people like that, you don't really know what the trigger is going to be, and unfortunately you can't have an opinion differing from what they want to sell you at that time. And because I have a strong opinion and because I have a strong platform and base of people that listen to me, and because I have independent thought and have an opinion and respect other opinions, that opinion does not fall in line with what they are selling on any given day all the time. And because of that, I am painted as an enemy. It doesn't matter that 95% of what I've done and said has been positive and supportive for decades, because it just takes one thing and you are off the train. And that's just the way it is with him. And it's unfortunate. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't expect him to like some of the things I've said because, again, it's not stuff they want out there. And if you watch, Kiss does interviews very strategically with nobody that's ever going to push them or ask tough questions. They like to do things like going on CNN where they can have a host talk to them that knows nothing truly about rock music and reads the bio and reads the one sheet, lets them spout off to sell what they want to sell on that appearance and move on. And that's not what I do.
Because you're so dangerous.
Well, I do agree with this point there, but it still leads to the other point. If I'm going to use his train analogy, if he's been kicked off the train, why is he still talking about the fucking train? And look, I'll bring up, and this is going to be a very rare time that I'm going to mention this band. A very rare time. But we had a problem with Iced Earth.
We did.
And it was a bad problem. And it was a problem that litigation was threatened with. We had an issue with them. So what did we do? We stopped talking about Iced Earth.
And stopped playing them.
And stopped playing them. And if I'm not mistaken, right now is probably the first time we have mentioned that band in at least 10 years.
True.
I don't think we've ever mentioned them one other time. You guys have heard me with the Frozen Dirt joke every once in a while, but I've never said the band name. Ever. Because the band doesn't like us. We don't especially like them. We moved on. We got off the train. And fair enough. They can go do whatever they do, and that's cool. And we're going to do whatever we do, and that's cool. And that's it. Ed, it's clear that they don't want nothing to do with you. So you know what? Don't have nothing to do with them. Move the fuck on. Don't take Kiss calls. Don't read emails about Kiss. Don't play them on your show. Why would you play a band that fucking thinks you're a dick? Right?
I agree.
They think you're a dick, so play somebody else.
And don't talk about them. Don't mention them.
You know what? There's 1,000 other bands out there that would kill for 1/10 of the time that you spend on this fucking clown band. Honestly, as much time as he spends talking about Kiss, don't you think that Death Angel would like to get a little bit of that time? Or, I don't know, Junkyard? Or who else is back? Anybody that's out. Crazy Licks, new bands, old bands. There's plenty of them that would love to have that airtime. Instead of playing Love Gun on your show, play something from another band. Don't give them the fucking time of day. God, why is that so hard? Dude, another one that we had a problem with, same story, and we fixed the problem, but we fixed the problem, but I still don't think we ever fully fixed it. Kingdom Come. We fixed that problem when Lenny Wolf came at us, but, we don't really talk about them at all.
Well, it wasn't him, it was his brother.
Yeah, but what did we do? We stopped talking about Kingdom Come. We stopped playing Kingdom Come.
Yeah, until we got Lenny on the show and told him what happened. And he was just like, I don't know what happened there, but, I apologize.
Yeah, but even that was how many years later?
Yeah, it was a few. Yeah, definitely a few.
And for 6 years, we did not mention them or play them. And they were a favorite of both of ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you do. If you have a problem with a band and they don't want your help, see, this is where Ed forgets himself sometimes. I'll admit the guy has a powerful platform for these bands. He does. Eddie definitely has a powerful platform for these bands. But he wastes it by giving into shit like this. He looks powerless by continually bringing this up. I don't know why Paul doesn't like me. I went to the art show to shake his hand and he walked away. Why are you groveling like a bitch to Paul Stanley? His career's over. Yours is still going. Who's got a better shelf life? I'd say you, Ed. So move the fuck on and find a different band. Talk about you. Oh, they're breaking up too. We'll talk about whoever.
Deep
Who's
Purple.
he like now?
Oh, wait a minute. Deep Purple's almost done too.
Deep Purple's just about done too, but there's got to be someone he still likes. Sebastian Bach. GNR. He still likes GNR, right?
I think so.
Talk about them. They're still out there.
Or the Wiry Dogs.
Yeah, the Wiry Dogs. They'll take some. I bet they'd like to have some of that Kiss time.
Sure.
I'm sure they would. For God's sakes, they hate you. So then fine, they hate you. Then don't give them love back, you dumbbell.
Right. No Love Gun for you guys.
Yeah. It's just, isn't that just 101?
Yeah, pretty much. But I think he enjoys the controversy.
He does. He's tying himself to Kiss.
Of course he does.
That's what he's doing. He's tying himself to Kiss. He can't stomach the thought of actually and what a dumb reason. I'm sorry that you're a fan and all, but you know what? Fan or not, when they treat you like shit, you fucking move on. You don't help them sell product. He's helping them sell product. That's what he's doing. They're saying, Eddie, you're a cunt. And he said, well, you know what? Let me help you sell some tickets. Kiss is going back on tour. Check their website, kissonline.com, and then you can find out where they're going to be playing if they're going to play in your city. I won't be going because they won't give me free tickets, but you guys can go and then call in and tell me about it. And then I'll tell you how it stinks because of Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer on the stage. It's like, just drop it. Pick another band. Ignore them when they come to New York City. Just ignore them. That'll hurt them a whole lot more. That'll pay them back a whole lot more than continually acting like a petulant teenager. Jesus. Now I'm shrilling.
And, I don't expect them to like what I say, but you know what? Have a debate and a discussion about it. And to me, it all started because and you touched on this, Dave, in your email, because I am steadfast in my absolute belief that dressing Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer as Ace and Peter is dead wrong and disrespectful to the legacy of the band and to the personas that were created by Ace and Peter. Above and beyond everything, that is probably where it started, and I will not back down from that. I will not, in any way, shape, or form, think that I'm wrong in that assessment.
And wrong in your opinion.
So brave. So bold.
It says, the funny thing is, I have an opinion about a band that's 40-some years old, and I'm not changing my mind.
I'm laying the law down here, pal.
Yeah, pal, you're not going to change my mind what I think.
Thayer and Eric dressing as Peter and Ace. Guilty!
Yeah, it's not happening in my world, pal.
Yeah, pal.
I'll show them a thing or three.
Get over it. My God.
Because it is exactly how I feel, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And a ton of other people feel that way as well. Many are afraid to say it. Why?
Afraid?
Because if you say...
Why are they afraid?
Who's afraid to say it? I not on purpose, because I'm not a fan of the band, but I have a bunch of friends that are doing various Kiss podcasts. None of them are not saying it. There's nobody that talks about Kiss really that is like, yeah, this is great. It's better with Thayer and Eric Singer. I know we say that sometimes to fuck with Jackal, but in the end, nobody is saying that.
Yeah, they're not afraid to say it. Who's afraid?
Yeah, let's hear those names, Ed.
Afraid of what?
Yeah.
That they're not going to get that all-important Gene Simmons interview?
Yeah, which you admitted nobody gets except for CNN and the LA Times.
Yeah.
So stop it.
Anything different.
Nobody's losing any interviews. Nobody is losing interviews. Nobody's losing any access to Kiss. And let's face it, they're done. They're over. They're cashing out. So drop it. God damn, dude.
For what they want to sell you, you are the enemy and out. I don't care. I'd rather be able to have open and honest dialogue with you guys, the audience, and my friends, and on my platforms, than to have to fake it and suck everyone's ass.
Whoa, watch the language there, Ed.
Easy, Ed.
Suck everyone's ass.
Jeez. I thought he was going to say suck everyone's dick.
Wow.
Play the game. And I think that's why, over the years, I've developed the audience I have. Because I'm a fan speaking my mind, and I appreciate everybody's opinions, even if they're differing from mine. But there is nobody that is ever going to convince me or tell me it is cool and right to watch two guys impersonate Ace and Peter, and I don't care what sort of language you want to change to. Oh, it's not impersonation. Bullshit. It's exactly what it is. I just saw a clip posted online of Tommy Thayer, of course, dressed as Ace, shooting rockets out of his guitar, again, something Ace started, and even playing the exact guitar solo from Kiss Alive.
Oh, my God! I can't believe it!
Yeah, it's a business, Ed. The people came to see a show. It doesn't matter.
Why is Kiss trying to do a show that reminds me of Kiss? Why would they do that? Kiss, he's out there pretending that it's 1975 again. Why would he do that? Kiss shouldn't pretend they're Kiss. Why? My God.
Sacrilege! Sacrilege!
He was shooting rockets, just like in 1975. Why would he do that? He should shoot cannons or something new. Something that's his. Light a sparkler. What a douche. Oh, my God.
On this current tour, I'm like, what has happened in this world where everyone just blindly accepts everything that's thrown at them?
Blindly!
The world.
The world doesn't see what I do!
I'm sorry, but the world does not revolve around Kiss for probably 99.9% of the people in the entire world.
You're right, Neil. It revolves around me! And my opinion! And my opinion is right, and you can't tell me otherwise!
What do you mean they'll accept it? What does that mean, they'll accept it? You mean that they bought a ticket to a show?
Yeah. They don't give two fucks. How about that, Ed? They don't care.
They're just going to see a performance. It doesn't matter.
Eddie, I'm gonna give you some homework, Ed. You can choose to do it or not. But listen to your own show and pay attention to the shit that comes out of your mouth. And then maybe you'll get a picture here. No, let me paint the picture for you, Ed. You're admitting that Kiss is selling a lot of tickets. You're also admitting that fans will go out and support bands that do not play live anymore. Put the two together and understand, the fans don't give a shit. The fans do not care. They just want to see those four ass clowns, or four guys in ass clown makeup singing those dumb songs or having them played behind them, or however the fuck it works. They've been talking for 20 years that it doesn't matter if no original members are going to be there. They've started the process. Why in 20 years can't you fucking grasp that? Am I wrong in thinking it's been 20 years that they've been talking about Kiss with no originals?
Pretty much.
So for 20 years, they've been saying they were going to do exactly what they're doing. Correct?
Yeah, Gene said the franchise could continue on without one original member.
For 20 years, they've said that. So he's doing that. Why are you still complaining about that? Why don't you talk about your 2400 modem still being slow, Ed? Jesus Christ, have you not graduated from that? You still got a Texas Instruments computer at home that doesn't work as well as my fucking MacBook Pro? Jesus Christ, what other old argument can you have? God damn, dude.
Without saying, wait a minute, isn't that gone too far?
Gone too far.
And just closing this out, because I don't want to go on and on with this forever. I really don't. But I'm asked about it all the time.
All the time.
So don't answer.
Is that the same every day you get asked about Vinnie Vincent?
Yeah, no kidding. Here's the answer, Ed. I'm going to give you the answer. This is going to solve all your problems here with this topic. This topic can officially be retired after right now, Ed. Just hear what I got to say. I'm not even being a dick. I'm trying to be cool about this, and I'm trying to be helpful. Take this segment, not us, not even with us talking over it. Take your segment right now that you're talking about this, cut it into an MP3, put it on eddietrunk.com. Create a new page called Why I Don't Speak to Kiss. And anytime somebody calls, send them to the link. eddietrunk.com/why I don't talk to kiss.mp3. Then the answer is solved. Then you don't have to answer the question anymore. Then you can move on with your life without fucking your blood pressure hitting 223. Relax, man. You've answered the question. You're on record. You're on audio. Put it up. Be done with it. Jeez. My God.
Two things. I do not blame Tommy Thayer or Eric Singer. They have been given their marching orders from above. If they didn't do the gig, someone else would. I don't blame them for doing it. But it still doesn't make it right.
It's not a right and wrong issue. There's no right and wrong issue here at all.
And I do like the fact that Eddie, again, comes at this with a wishy-washy answer so that he doesn't piss off a potential friendship, because he doesn't have the true sack to fucking say it. Either if what they're doing is wrong, which he just said a minute ago. He just said it a minute. He just shrilled it out a minute ago about they're shooting rockets. You know what? If Tommy Thayer had any integrity, according to Ed, he wouldn't do it. He'd let someone else have the gig. The money wouldn't matter because he'd have integrity. The problem here, Ed, is that you can't call him out because you still know him somewhat. You're afraid to call him out and say he doesn't have any integrity. If you're going to make the argument, then make the argument. There's either integrity in doing what he's doing or there's not. You can't say, well, the band has no integrity, but I have no problem with it with Tommy. Tommy's just doing what he's told. Well, that shows no integrity, dumbbell. Call him out. If it's such an issue, call him out. Eric Singer, every single night, he doesn't have to paint that makeup on his face. He just does. Why? Paycheck. Because in the end, that's all Kiss is. Paycheck. And they're going to do whatever they can to make that fucking paycheck keep coming in. Whether that means replacing Paul or audio tracks or replacing Tommy and Eric eventually or Gene or whoever. They're going to make this thing keep making money. Get it through your fucking skull, dude. My God, enough with the Kiss.
And if they didn't have that gig themselves, they'd be just as critical about it. Because they're both Kiss fans. And the last thing is, my door always has been and always will remain completely open to any and all past, present, future, current members of KISS.
Wow.
I would welcome a debate and a discussion about any of this stuff. I really would. But I can't.
What is the debate? Where's the debate?
How brave.
There's no debate. KISS is a money-making entity, and they'll do whatever it takes to maximize that dollar.
He's such a brave defender of the KISS Army's integrity.
Of course.
So brave, so daring. What a hero.
If Gene Simmons personally stroked a check to Eddie for, let's just throw a dollar amount at it, for $1 million to praise KISS, do you think he would do it?
He'd have to eat an awful lot of dick. I think so.
Yeah?
I think he would. You know, I had a talk with Gene, and now I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about keeping the legacy.
Yeah,
and in the end, as a KISS fan, I've always wanted to see the legacy continue.
I see it differently now. I had a heart-to-heart talk with Gene Simmons while he was stroking me this check.
Exactly.
And he sort of made me see the light, and now I get where he's coming from now, so I'm not going to be so harsh and critical about it anymore.
You know, I was looking at it from an individual member standpoint, but as a fan, I was reminded how I should consider the legacy of the music. And that's all that really matters when you come right down to it, the legacy of the music. And, I mean, it's overseen by the guys, so there's integrity there. It's not just random players. I could totally see him going there.
Of course.
Force people to come on my shows, and I'm lucky and thankful that I got tons of people that do love to have spirited debates and conversations and discussions. And that invitation remains and always will be there. And at the end of the day, I always will consider myself to be a KISS fan, because I am. Incredibly important band to me in my whole life. It's the band I have most been identified with my entire life as being a fan and supporter. So that is the great irony in all of this. It's why, somebody like Sebastian Bach can't let it go and insists on me going to the show and insists on trying to pull me along. But, if I told you I had a 40-minute phone conversation with Sebastian after I finished that interview the other day. And, I threw some things at him which got him thinking, too. So, that's what it's about, being a fan. Having the debate, having the discussion, having some fun.
Wait a minute. Everything but the having fun is not what it's about being a fan. A fan doesn't get to have a debate, and a fan doesn't get to have a discussion. A fan only gets to have fun at the show.
Yeah.
He said that's what it's all about, being a fan, having a debate, having a discussion. Well, that's not what fans get to do.
Unless it's among themselves.
Yeah, they have a discussion at the bar, not with the band.
Right.
Fuck. Come on, Ed. It's too easy.
You don't have to agree. It's okay. But you should be able to honestly say how you feel, and I will always feel that way. And again, I will always be a fan at the end of the day, just not of what they do now. When people ask me, I say, I'm a fan from 2000 back. Hit me with anything from 2000 back, and I am all in, including all the non-makeup 80s era stuff as well.
So let's play this out. Let's just play this out from KISS's side of the standpoint of the thing, okay? KISS is now booked. I'm making this up, but Kiss is booked to play Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Next Friday or whatever. They call up Eddie and say, can we come on and do your show? Paul's ready to do your show next Thursday. Okay? With me so far?
Yep.
Now, after hearing this, why in the fuck would Paul, whose only real reason to call in is to promote his show that's coming up Friday, why would he come on to debate whether what he's doing as a band is valid or not?
Well, he wouldn't, because, you know, what is he going to do? Is he going to chase fans away from coming out to see the show?
There's only one outcome that can come from that, and that's negative. There's only one, you know, there's no positive that could come out of it. It doesn't mean anything to Paul Stanley that now him and Eddie are good. That means nothing to Paul Stanley. That has not affected him one ticket sale in all these years. So basically, Eddie wants Kiss to come on and eat shit for what they're doing because he feels they're right. And there's no upside to them. They don't need it. Why do they need it? That's the part that I find funny. He acts like Kiss needs him. They don't need him. They don't need his opinion. Maybe that's why they don't fucking come on, Ed, because they don't need your opinion. They don't need your fucking support. Go back, listen to fucking Unmasked, enjoy it, and shut up. Stop arguing about this dumb shit. They don't like you. Move on. There's plenty of bands that do. Plenty of them. They all do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've run into them. I mean, dude, behind the scenes, I'm sure there's some, and I'm not asking you to sell anybody out, but for the most part, if Eddie Trunk comes up, it's in a positive light.
It is.
Very rarely are you running into somebody backstage, and you're backstage way more than I am.
Yeah.
But very rarely is somebody like, dude, I just got to tell you, that Eddie Trunk, he's a real fucking cocksucker.
I have never heard anyone ever say that.
Everybody I've ever talked to about Eddie, even guys that know what we do, you know, have said to me that he's a nice guy, that he's a good dude. And I think he's a good dude. I have no issue with that. You know, I just think that he's so overblown into his own ass about who he thinks he is and how important he thinks he is. And it's like, dude, just let it go. You know, the truth is you're just keeping this dumb argument alive for no reason.
Well, again, he enjoys the controversy.
But what controversy?
His controversy.
He's the only one that has it.
That's my point. He enjoys it because he perpetuates it on his show.
Yeah. I mean, is he setting up for what he thinks will be that big interview that could never, or is probably never going to happen?
No, I think that it perpetuates the image that he's a player.
I guess.
That's what it is. In fact, I was reading a couple of the comments to this segment.
Yeah.
The first commenter. Whatever, Eddie. I have never understood what your draw is to some music fans. You get to run on that mouth and spew your opinions about things on the radio and think you're the pulse of rock music. Well, as far as the Kiss thing goes, it would seem that based on the number of the fans showing up to the end of the tour, you know, the end of the whatever they call that tour, end of the road tour.
Yeah, whatever.
You appear to be in the minority, and Gene and Paul and whoever is playing with them will survive without your perceived rock god status in their corner.
Right. Yeah. Dude, my texts are blowing up because we're talking about this.
Okay.
Fuck him, horrible. So the issue is Eddie Trunk can fuck off. Again, fuck Eddie Trunk. At least he reformed GNR. Hashtag fuck Eddie Trunk. F-U-C-K Eddie Trunk all night. And that's it. Various texts I'm receiving.
Right.
Oh, Ed, come on, let it go. Please. You're embarrassing yourself.
Right. Well, again, I'm a player. I'm up against one of the biggest, most notorious bands in the world, and you know, somehow that that elevates me to the status of importance.
In any other industry you can think of, movies, television, building cars, whatever industry it is, do you ever hear a leader in the industry whine so much about 1/1,000,000th of a cog of their industry?
No.
This would be like if the owner of Chrysler was continually complaining about the 1/4-inch screws that they fucking attach the bumper with. That's what this really is. It's such a minor Kiss in the scope of things. Kiss is such a minor thing in the world of hard rock and heavy metal. It's a big band, but it's not that big. It's not that big of a band to be fucking whining about every single day.
Yeah.
And I mean, on his show, it's got to be 3 of 5 days a week he brings up Kiss.
Of course.
And let's face it, Kiss hasn't had a meaningful album since Hot in the Shade. Or is that right? Revenge? That's in the same time frame, right?
Yeah.
When was that? 25 years ago?
Yeah, early 90s.
So 20 whatever years ago. Dude, let go, please.
Too funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a short break and we'll come back and do some more stuff.
Dude, should we play Kiss?
Do you want to play Kiss?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Well, I actually did get a request here for some Wrath.
All right.
They're the Chicago band.
Okay.
Little thrashy stuff.
All right.
You familiar with them at all?
Nope.
All right. Chuck Stout says, "Hey guys, it's Mega Satan.
Right. Hello?
Here's an appropriate request. How about the Chicago band Wrath and their song Insane Society?
Okay.
It's a good one to lead into some crazy social justice warrior nonsense.
All right.
Thanks, and I love the show."
So do we.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to play some Wrath. And This is called Insane Society exclusively here
on your classic metal show.